Hey, Scorpio, Intuitive Soul Coach here with your October 2024 bonus reading. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome if you're new. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Scorpio, advice from your future self. I am getting you shifting your mindset in ways that bring more expansion and growth to your world. Your first card out here, you have Soul Cup. We cannot serve others if we're not first serving ourselves. We need to fill up our soul cup. Because some of you may have felt like you were in the midst of some sort of conflict, drama, competition. We'll take a look and see what that is exactly for you, but you're showing up with the Five of Wands right away. Bottom of the deck, the Devil. Whew. Are you feeling soul full, Scorpio, or soul drained? And that is what you are being asked as we near Scorpio season towards the end of the month. What fills your cup? What drains your cup? And what can you do today to change that, shift that energy? Your future self wants you to know that you don't have to be in a state of hypervigilance, but you can be in a state of being vigilant. So what that means is instead of feeling like you're walking on eggshells, right, pins and needles, fight or flight, waiting for the shoe to drop, this is about you learning from conflict. Learning how to deal with conflict, how to react to it, how to even channel your own conflicting energies, maybe that of anger or emotions that can bring up conflict within ourselves or within others. You are learning how to deal with conflict in ways that perhaps you haven't explored. And I feel like your future self is saying here, you have the upper hand coming in because you're doing something different. You're meeting a challenge head on. And yes, it's taken a lot of time for you. Okay, it's taken a lot of time. But I feel like you are shifting. And it says here, step into your queendom or kingdom. Step into your energy entirely. And whenever I see this card, and this has been showing up for a lot of signs, it almost looks like, you know, someone at the cross. It looks like a sacrifice. So for some of you, you have made great sacrifice for others. You've made great sacrifice for yourself, but it says you were born for greatness. Quit apologizing for your light. Now is the time to fully express yourself. It's time to shine. And I do see here you spending less time on focusing on what's ended and more time focusing on what is beginning. This is pretty powerful. The Devil, I knew he'd sneak out here. He wanted to sneak out at the bottom of the deck, and now we see him coming up in the position of what to remember. So the fact that the Devil is showing up in your environment is a good thing because it means you can see it, you can address it. And I am getting a message around a mirror. Something being mirrored. Did I mention that in the beginning? I feel like this energy is being mirrored to you, and it's for you to react or respond in a different manner than you have in the past, because that's going to change everything. You have the Wheel of Fortune showing up. It's important for you to remember that everything goes through its season. Okay, everything goes through its season. Wow, you have the World. You're really coming into a powerful, powerful energy during Scorpio season towards the end of the month and into November. Something is shifting. It says meditate on your crown chakra. Some of you may even want to download or go on YouTube, type in crown chakra meditation, okay, or work with your crown chakra in some way, shape, or form, because you're being activated. You're coming into your body. You are made for this. You are definitely made for this. And I see there has been a lot of anxiety that you've suffered from. Oh, that's why. You have the anxiety card here. with the 9 of Swords, but there's justice, and we are in Libran season as well. So there's justice come this Libran season. So it actually prepares you for the next leg of your journey, for your season coming in, because you've really been doing the work here is what I see, Scorpio. You also have miracle mindset. It says, have immeasurable faith and full dedication towards your dream. Our thoughts create our feelings create our actions create our reality. That is manifestation to a T. What thoughts would your highest self be thinking, feeling, or doing to live your best life? Well, first of all, your future self, which is also our higher self as well, is helping you release, put down boundaries, but also release things that have caused you to put up those boundaries in the first place. And that's why you're stepping into this queendom or kingdom, because you know you're born for greatness. And you're not going to apologize for who you are. You're not going to apologize for your truth, even if that means you drawing a line in the sand and disappointing others. Scorpio, you're not having it. You're not being pushed around. What is your dream? What do you get lost doing, lost in time doing? Meditate on this feeling. Lean into your dreams. For those of you that are like, I have no clue, I'm not sure, or I feel very lost, that's why the crown chakra is showing up, because that is our higher power, our higher self. That is what connects us to the divine. Your mantra, I have faith and trust that my dreams are unfolding perfectly for me. But it starts with you taking a look at the cup. And I'm just peeking here to see if we have one cup out here, and we do not. However, bottom of the deck, I do see the 5 of Cups. The 5 of Cups is in reverse, which is good because it means past pain receding, because this can be an emotionally tumultuous energy. Past pain receding and hope emerging. And that's what I see here taking place for you, because yes, you may be evaluating what fills your cup, what drains your cup. And I feel like you are taking action, like it says here, with the miracle mindset. Your thoughts, you're paying attention to your thoughts here. You're paying attention to your feelings. And then you're actioning it up. And that's what's creating more balance in your reality. So you start off, your present self feels a bit conflicted. 5 of Wands in reverse. Some of you, you feel like there's unnecessary conflict. Maybe you're trying to avoid drama. Maybe you feel like you're not sure what direction to go in. It feels chaotic. The 5 of Wands is represented by playing croquet with the Queen, right? All those flamingos. And I feel like the 5 in the background is highlighted. And I feel like there may be a group of people, because they're showing all the feathers, right? All the feathers in this card. And you know what they say? Birds of a feather flock together. And it feels like if you have been in some sort of group dynamic or other people were involved, I feel like you don't want a part of it if it is draining you. I mean, who does, right? But sometimes we don't realize that we are part of that energy, that we are participating in that energy. And I feel like you want out. You want out, Scorpio. So whatever is draining you, you're like, I'm going to flock elsewhere because this is not my tribe or this is not my jam. And you may also be leaving behind drama and searching for a new tribe in some way. You may also not want to participate in someone else's stuff, but you find yourself getting drawn back into it with the devil here. I do feel like this could be an ongoing issue. For some of you, it could be a community of individuals that you work with. Okay, this could be family. 5 of Wands is other people involved. And sometimes it's also about competition, your competition. It can be adversity. It can be groupthink, where everyone thinks the same way. And it's just like following the crowd. And I feel like you are a trailblazer here that's not meant to follow the crowd. You're meant to go on your own path, even if that means that there's one of you and 10 of them. And that's a struggle for so many people because we don't want to stand out. We don't want to, shine our light because we could get ostracized, we could get criticized, judged, ridiculed, or we could end up on a path that feels very lonely or isolated. But I see here that you're overcoming this 5. You're overcoming this. And you are gaining a new sense of direction here because your future self wants you to know that you are going from this 5 of Wands to the 7 of Wands, and you're standing up for yourself. You're not letting people manipulate or bully you. You may also not be letting your own integrity be compromised. There's something here about your spiritual influence or your intuition. Even though the Wands is very fiery, it's very spiritual. It is this spiritual force within you that is saying no more, right? I've learned some valuable lessons I need to step out of, and I feel like you will. For those of you that may be going through other people's stuff or other people are involved here in some way, your future self wants you to know that you may have some challenges to face showing up, but you're gonna have the upper end. You're gonna be in a more favorable position because on this 7 of Swords, this is Alice's defense. She has all of these cards, these playing cards coming at her with the wands, right? And they're coming at her feet there. But sometimes that can be, excuse me, sometimes that can trip us up. Sometimes when we're feeling attacked or we feel pressured, we feel let down, we want to fight. We want to either fight or we flight or we become stubborn. We become, we put up a wall or we get on guard. There may have even been accusations. Some of you were dealing with people who were throwing some accusations. They were throwing some hate because you left. You left that dynamic because you no longer wanted to participate in something that it was draining you. And you got some slack for it here. But what I see, and look at this card, both of these cards are aces. Double aces. Aces are gifts. Aces are new beginnings. And I feel like through this, I almost wanted to say experiment. Okay, maybe this felt like an experiment. Through some sort of experiment here that you were involved in, I actually feel like you're being offered a new beginning, and you could have 2 choices to make, and neither one of them per se are going to be wrong. You have the upper hand. You're being chosen above the competition, and that's why people are trying to, throw their wands at you. But I feel like you're kind of taking the shoe and you're kicking them away. You're saying, I'm not going to let you be a distraction. I'm not going to let you steal my thunder. I'm not going to dim my light just to make you happy. So I am getting a little bit of sauce here, a little bit of spiciness. Now, some of you are on that Libran cusp, or it's this Libran season that is really bringing out some spice in you, because I just did Libra's reading and I felt the same energy of a little bit of sauciness. And Scorpio, you have that. Now, the current situation, question, or struggle could be the Knight of Pentacles. Like, this is happening so slow. Look at this elderly male on this card. He's going at a snail's pace. You want to just kind of throw a little bit of a motor behind him to get him going a little bit. And the Knight of Pentacles, although slow, he's reliable. He's reliable. He's grounded. He is someone who's dependable and hardworking. But right now, it feels like either part of your energy or someone you are dealing with is lacking focus and discipline, or you may feel like you've lost your way, lost your direction. Maybe this energy feels a little bit senile. Maybe he's seeing things. Maybe he needs to get his eyes checked. Now, for some of you, I feel like vision could be significant. Okay, vision could be significant. I also see here with the butterflies, there is a lot of change, a lot of transformation taking place. So even though this is slow and steady, it almost is like the energy, how I'm seeing this, excuse me, I'm seeing this Knight of Pentacles getting up there to a wheelchair. And this wheelchair, there's the motor. We just talked about lighting a motor up behind him. He gets into this wheelchair, and if you've ever seen, some of those wheelchairs are powerful, right? They can go faster than like a bike. And I feel like he's getting in this wheelchair and it gives him that power, that extra boost of momentum that he needs. So it's not that you're going to be in a wheelchair. I mean, some of you, maybe you are or you have been, but I feel like this has to do with the energy of gaining momentum and having a resource or having a tool that can help you feel more mobile, maybe physically, financially, spiritually, emotionally. Yeah, because this is change coming in here. And instead of using his cane, which is a tool, yeah, it's a tool that we need here in the physical to get around sometimes. But again, symbolically speaking, it almost feels like there's a tool that's really going to help you out, all encompassing, represented by that wheelchair that I'm seeing. And it's going to allow something to get moving. It's going to allow you to finally feel like you can go in a direction and get to where you want to go. And that may be the struggle or the challenge right now, because you're trying to get there, but you don't have the tools to do so. So what do we need to spend less time on? Focusing on an ending, Ten of Swords. Spend less time on focusing on the ending of a situation, and know that when one door closes, another opens. There may have been something of the past. This could be 10 years ago, 10 months ago. This is also the 10th month, October. So it may be that you are leaving behind people, places, things, beliefs, patterns, or habits. Instead of focusing on what has to end per se, this kind of reminds me of the glass half full or the glass half empty. Instead of just focusing on one or the other, how about we focus on the glass, the container, the tool, the resource, or the energy in itself that holds substance. And I'm also getting here that abundant mindset, the miracle mindset here. So spend less time on focusing on perhaps the door that's closed in your face and trying to open it, and spend more time on taking action and resources in what's right in front of you. Knight of Swords. Now, Knight of Swords comes in as what to spend more time on. Spend more time charging ahead with intellect and using your logical mind, because the Ten of Swords, if we continue staying in that Ten of Swords, this is overthinking. This is overthinking that's creating mental muckery. It can be staying in a storm. It's like standing, if your house has been destroyed here in this tornado, which you see the storm clouds in the background, and you see that, yes, the house has landed on the Wicked Witch of the East, but it's like standing there trying to pull her out, or waiting for something to happen, but we need to go make it happen. And I feel like you are meant to take a path now. In the background of the Ten of Swords, you see that there's two paths. One is very shadowed by the storm. That's where you've been, where you've come from. And then you have a new path as well that has a light, that has the sun coming out from the storm. And I feel like you're meant to use your logical mind here and create the sense of help or safety within yourself. Be your own hero, basically. Be your own hero. If a hero is what you need, become that. And the Knight of Swords, he is a hero energy, but he's also someone who's confident in his communication. He is someone who charges ahead with intellect. He is someone who voices his ideas and his opinions, and he's not afraid of backlash, right? He's not afraid of what other people think, because he's armored, right? And it almost feels like the time is now. This is represented by TikTok, right? TikTok. Spend more time on your ideas, on your creativity. And I'm getting research as well. Some of you, this could be education, maybe going back to school, learning something new, communicating. Now, of course, try not to make rash, impulsive decisions, but do make decisions, stick with them, and follow through. Okay, because this is the opposite of the Knight of Pentacles, which you're in. The Knight of Pentacles is the current situation that's causing conflict within you, within a dynamic. But your future self says, wait a second, you have the upper hand with the Seven of Wands. We don't have to focus on how this ends or, what's going to come of this ending. We need to look for ways to embrace this new journey, the double aces that are showing up here for you. Do your research. Find answers. If it's within your control, right? It's something that you have control over, then it's figure outable, right? Everything is figure outable. Great book, by the way. And I feel like you have great intellect. You have a great mind. You can use your brain power. I feel like your brain is activated here, and that's why you have miracle mindset showing up. Have an immeasurable faith and full dedication towards your dreams. What thoughts would your highest self be thinking, feeling, or doing? And this is all about thoughts. So what do we need to remember? That the devil can come creeping back at any time, right? Now, the devil is part of our human experience. We all have the devil within us, right? The devil can be temptations. The devil is lived, spelled backwards. It is lived, but it's when we allow ourselves to attach to these earthly pleasantries, such as food, sex, alcohol. This can be indulging in the things that bring us, a quick fix or numb us at times or just make us feel good in the moment, but they may not be good for us long term, or when we overindulge or get to the point where we're not fully living our truth and our purpose because we're masking it. That's when the devil really can be a problem in our lives. Now, it's not that we need to fear the devil or, have the devil completely absent of our lives, because that's what makes polarity and duality, right? But it's understanding the devil within. It is you understanding what sucks you in, what drains you, what's not good for you, what's unhealthy, what's toxic. And when you have that knowing, that's that Knight of Swords here. When you have that knowing, once you know better, you do better. And once you understand and you're able to see something, you can come up with an action plan. And that's what you are guided to remember, is this is showing up here to help you. The devil shows up in all of our lives to help us grow and evolve and to come back to our own center and our own truth and our own authenticity. And the devil is so closely connected to the lovers. It really is a fine line between the devil and the lovers. It's basically unconditional love versus conditional, right? One is based on a false premise, false evidence appearing real, and one is wholehearted. And we oscillate between the both of them because we are creatures of habit and we're creatures of pleasure. And so when this devil shows up, you get to choose, right? You get to choose. And you can use your mind, as I always say this, you can use your mind to build or destroy, because the mind is like, the brain is like a computerized system, right? The brain. And we have the ability here to tap into that computerized system. And sometimes that gets viruses. Sometimes the devil can bring in a virus, but when we have the tools, we can reboot. We can protect it. We can have the spyware set on it, right? And I feel like you're protecting yourself. You're protecting your integrity here. And that's why the Seven of Wands shows up as your future advice, your future self. Now, what do we need to let go of? Okay, timing. We need to let go of the need that things have to work out in our time. And that can be a huge construct that we don't love, because man-made time, right? Man-made time. And the Wheel of Fortune is the opposite of that. It is divine timing. It's destiny. It's fate. It is karma. It is a turning point here. But I also feel like it's important to know that you are lucky, that you create your own luck by your miracle mindset here. This is what's important. Okay, this is what's important. And I am getting here a message of letting go of feeling like you never have enough time, right? I'm running out of time, or I don't have enough time. If that is you, Scorpio, feeling like there's not enough time in the day, or, time is going by so quickly, which, yeah, it is. We are speeding up. The energy, the frequencies are rapid. It feels like now more than ever, time has sped up versus maybe a decade ago. It felt a little bit slower, but time does not wait for anyone. And I feel like it's important for you to prioritize. What do you want to schedule on your daily routine? What do you want to have happen? Because it's up to you to prioritize. It's up to you to schedule this in, and it's up to you to manage your time effectively. So let go of poor time management. Okay. Let go of the need to have everything in a certain way, because you have this Wheel of Fortune showing up, which means that things are falling into place for you at exactly the right moment in time in history, right here, right now for you. Can you trust that? Excuse me. Can you trust that? Because that is also part of this miracle mindset for you. But I do have a feeling here, Scorpio, that things are going to turn around much sooner than you think with this Knight of Swords, because it all starts with your perspective. And I keep going back to this. What thoughts would your highest self be thinking? So there is a strong energy of thoughts coming in, and as soon as you change your thoughts, you change your outlook, you change your reality, you change your actions. And I feel like that's where you're headed. And what do we need to give ourselves credit for? Your soul's journey. You have the world. There is a graduation here for some of you. This is the end of a major journey, a completion. This is a new beginning coming in here. And when you have the world showing up, give recognition for your accomplishments, for how far you've come, for your awakenings, for your travels, for your memories. The world is your oyster. And even though some of you may have this thing around time, like I'm too old, I can't do this, or I can't go back to school, or I can't travel by myself, or I can't retire, I don't have the right person, or whatever. I'm just going to call it for what it is, excuses, right? Quote unquote excuses. Don't shoot the messenger. Whatever excuses based on fears, false evidence appearing real. Thanks, devil. Whatever excuses that we are telling ourselves that we cannot do something because of time. And yes, I understand that there are physical things that we cannot do as time goes on. But if it's an excuse because out of fear, then that's a different story. If it is something that is legit and cannot be changed or transformed in some way, something that's out of your control, then that itself is a different story. But we're talking about here your journey. Give yourself credit and victory for how far you've come, but also remember that the world is your oyster. It doesn't end with this closed door. And for some of you, you've been stuck on that. You've been stuck on some sort of ending, and it feels like, okay, well, that was it for me. That was my big shot. That was my big shot in love or in my career or whatever it may be. And now you think, maybe life is over. Maybe this is how I'm going to spend the rest of my life. Why does that have to be your truth? If that is your truth, then so shall be it with the Knight of Swords, because it's your thoughts, your mind that can hold you captive. That's what can be your own devil, right? That's what can hold you captive. And I feel you breaking out of this cycle, because the potential here is justice with the Nine of Swords. Nines are about completions. Yes, there's been anxiety. Yes, there's been fears, but the Nine of Swords reminds you that it's important to step out of your comfort zone and take a risk. It's important to leave behind some ending and go sit in that wheelchair, right? It's time to speed things up a bit. You have a motorized wheelchair coming in. Go pop some wheelies. Go step outside of your comfort zone. Have a little bit of fun with it. Yeah, have a little bit of fun, because justice energy, Libran season, which is upon us as you're listening to this, most likely. There has been a lot of fear and anxiety around your future based on your own limiting beliefs, not based on what the universe has in store for you. But you could be delaying some sort of gratification that really is destined. Even if we have this specific mindset, what's destined for us is still going to show up, but we can prolong it. We can get in our own way. And some of you may be saying, well, Mel, what's the point then? If it's still going to show up for me, why do I have to try? Because sometimes we do miss our shot. Sometimes destiny plants what we need and what we were meant to take hold of right in front of us, but we become sucked in to what drains us, right? Soul full or soul drained. And we have that free will option to say, okay, this is part of my destined path. This is something I want to move in, but we can get off track. And even that off track is learning, it's growth. There is not necessarily a right or a wrong or a good or a bad per se. It's all part of the journey. And when you start seeing it as that with the world, I feel like it also propels you to make different choices. You don't want to repeat, the same story. It's like reading a good book. And as much as you really enjoyed the book and you give yourself a little bit of a pause before you jump into a new one because you want to soak it all in, you wouldn't go back and reread that same book, at least not right away. I mean, some of you, maybe you have. But for the majority of us, we want to soak in every little bit and piece of the storyline, how it made us feel. What characters did we love? Which ones did we not enjoy? What emotions did it instill within us? And I feel like you're sitting with something here. I feel like you are contemplating, what's gone on your soul's journey, but you're ready to pick up a new book now because you've sat with this. And this is also the looking glass. There's a mirror. The mirror is being held up for you. And I feel like there's a rebalancing here, Scorpio, a rebalancing with the justice. And your final message is wild you. Are you wanting to express yourself? Throw down your hair, move your body. There is within us all an inner, wise, and feminine or masculine leader waiting to unleash himself or herself. How did you express yourself as a child? Connect back to your inner, wise, feminine, intuitive self, right? How would it feel to express yourself? What do you do that feels free and soulful? And your future self wants you to know, Scorpio, that it is safe for you to express yourself because some of you, your voice has stamped out. And if you heard during your reading, I kept clearing my voice. And so for some of you, you need to speak up. You need to express yourself. This can be paying attention to your words, paying attention to how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others, or how you accept people speaking to you. And maybe that's why boundaries is so significant. Boundaries is so important here. And that's what your future self is advising you. Pay attention to boundaries, all of them, including the boundaries with your own mind. Scorpio, that is what I have for you. Get prepared as you roll into your season. The times are changing. They certainly are. You have the Wheel of Fortune here and the World. And I feel like everything is working out in perfect divine order for you. Thank you so much for tuning in, Scorpio. I hope this was helpful. Sending you lots of love and happy birthday to you.